You're watching the Highlight Zone, Friday edition. Northeast Indiana, it's time to get in the zone.
It's going to be the biggest game of our lives.
Definitely the biggest game I've been a part of.
It represents Fort Wayne football history.
They're undefeated, and we're undefeated, and this is for the SAC championship.
You always hope that it's this important at the end.
There's going to be people everywhere you look.
We have standing room for 32,000.
Whoever wins this, take the crown.
The Battle of the Bishops.
Or the Catholic conflict.
Or the John Michael Darcy Bowl. It's been a long time since one game had so many nicknames and had so much hype associated with it.
Yeah, we've got title races to decide in the NHC and the NECC, but taking the center stage tonight, the SAC, two undefeated powerhouses going head-to-head.
Given they are both parochial schools, you might be inclined to use a David versus Goliath comparison. The only problem is both schools are Goliaths. Dwenger, winners of 4 straight SAC titles and 35 straight conference games. Luers, 8 state championships, including the ring they put on Matt Lindsay's finger last Thanksgiving. Bishop Dwenger at Bishop Luers. It's your Highlight Zone game of the week, and many would call it the game of the year. The SAC's victory bell on the line. For whom would that bell toll tonight? Dwenger winning 5 straight in this series. That included a 62-0 win last year. Luers, well, they haven't lost since that game. Picked this one up on Dwenger's first possession. Patrick Ryan had himself a nice game to Steven Espinoza for a first. Dwenger first and goal inside the 10. But on 4th down, Luers with the stand. Steve Kiermaier, big old number 23, and he is psyched about that. They hold him off the board. The momentum starting to shift. Early second quarter, James Kanapke to Kenny Mullen. That's a 9-yard score, and the ladies love Cool James. LL Cool J there for you. All right, second quarter, Dwenger answering. In fact, 40 seconds later, Ramond Wright the touch, and we're tied at 7-all. Dwenger, simply a machine on offense. How about Patrick Ryan pitching it out to Jalen West? 14-7, Bishop Dwenger midway through the second quarter, and both Wright and West would have huge games. Ensuing drive for Luers, Kanapke deflected and intercepted by Evan Feichter, Landon's little brother, doing big things, and that was where the momentum shifted back to Dwenger, because right before half, Ryan, just watch that, out of Jalen Smith's hand. Kiermaier gets a piece of the face mask, but Ryan keeps going, and that's Steven Espinoza in the end zone, and that, folks, is a touchdown, 21-7. Dwenger at the half, and that had to hurt if you were a Luers fan. All right, third quarter. James Kanapke, Luers' first possession of that second half, goes deep to Quyon Maddox, but Cam Smith, how big has he been this season, helps to break up the play. Next possession for Dwenger. Ryan, the QB keeper. This kid was tough.
Taking hits.
Touchdown, 9 yards out, 28-7 Dwenger. Luers trying to come back late third. Kanapke to Eric Sorg for an 8-yard touch, 28-14. So the lead there cut in half. With 7 minutes left, Dwenger ices it, though. Ramond Wright, watch him step on a dime and then step on a nickel. Change all over the field. Are you kidding me? That's why he's going to Stanford. 151 yards for him. West 123. Dwenger wins this one, their 5th straight bell. 36th straight win in conference. 36-14, your final.
It was hostile. It was a hostile place to play. And we just came out. We used it to our advantage, tried to make us get pumped up, and we did. And came out strong.
I mean, the line was dominant. It all started with them. I mean, we couldn't have done what we did without the dominance of the line. And then me and Jay West, we came in the game with the mindset, get 3.5 a pop and we get a first down.
Give it up to the line pretty much. Pound the ball every time. Loved it.
For us to be here in the Battle of the Bishops was an honor for us. I was happy with the ground game. We threw it when we had to, but our offensive line did well. The quarterback ran the show. And Patrick makes some great decisions out there. He's a tremendous leader.
Yep, Saints fans love him some Patrick Ryan. Dwenger plays Northridge next week in sectionals. Luers host Eastern.
Yeah, let's stay in the SAC. Snider looking to bounce back from that near upset last week against Dwenger. The Panthers at Wayne. In the very first play of the game, Terrence Harris forces the fumble, and Woody Baker picking it up and going 29 yards to the house as the Generals grab a 7-0 lead, but Snider would answer in the second quarter. Riley Jordan looking to his big tight end, Addison Dellinger. The extra point was blocked, 7-6 Generals, but just before the half, the Panthers defense forces a fumble. They capitalize. John Nelson, 177 yards in that score. Snider wins this one, 16-7, the final.
At the Arnold, Harding looking to quietly win their 4th game of the season. Hawks posting Southside. Zach Bohaydock back to pass for Harding, but Tim Gaines comes up with a nice play on defense right there for the Archers. Sherwood Haydock not too happy about that. He would like this. Travon Carr, 10 yards up the gut. 2-point conversion. It was good. 8-zip Harding. Carr, a big night, 126 yards. Fast forward to the second quarter. Harding's Devontae Sanders. Watch him put the stick on John Easley right there. Ooh. And Southside, oh, they fall at Harding, 15-6, your final. Good win for the Hawks.
Final stop in the SAC. Redskins invading Spuller Stadium to face the Bruins on Northside, grabbing the lead here. DJ Neal punching it in for the touchdown, makes it 14-10 Redskins. But here's an awkward play. Kyle Miles tips the punt. The Bruins' Chris Jones picks it up, and he's taking it to the house. Everybody's pumped, but guess what?
You can't advance it.
You can't advance a muff punt in high school play. Bruins go 4 and out. Then C.J. Jackson, the QB keeper on the ensuing possession, 66 yards. Northside scores 21 fourth-quarter points as they get the win tonight, 35-10 your final.
All right, we move on to the NHC, where we came into the night with a 3-way tie for first. East Noble, Homestead, and Columbia City, all with just one conference loss. It's not new territory for the Knights or for the Spartans. They've actually combined to win 12 of the last 13 NHC championships. For the Eagles, though, it is some rarefied air. They've won only one NHC championship, and that was back in 1990. 20 years later, Columbia City trying to win number 2. The Eagles needing a win at Norwell. Always a tough place to play is the Courtyard. Logan Rare intercepted by Nolan Kramer, and Jeff Miller had to be thinking, all right, if we can stop that passing game, maybe we got ourselves a chance. Well, Columbia City says, okay, if we're having trouble passing it there, why don't we run the football? Cody Wildman, 7-yard touch, 195 yards for Wildman, 2 touchdowns, and yes, they were getting buffed down in Ossian. Columbia City going back to that passing game. Rare finding Thomas De La Cruz, 43-yard score. De La Cruz had 2 touchdowns, and Coach Miller was like, something went wrong here. Little icing on the cake. Jacob Johnson would punch it in here. Columbia City wins it 32-10. They win a conference championship for the first time in 2 decades.
But who would they share it with? Well, let's check it out.
It's an outstanding thing to be honors conference champions, co-conference champions. We just got to carry this into the playoffs. This can't be the high point of our season, but I'm just proud of our guys. They're the ones that put in the work. They're the ones that have been working since last November.
So could New Haven play spoilers at Walter Memorial Stadium? Spartans looking for a share, taking on New Haven. Well, Zach Terrell would have himself a night. To Austin Steingrass, that was a 25-yard touchdown. And then the Homestead defense, they were just dialed in tonight. Isaac Griffith with the interception. They would hold Tavon Hurst to just 88 yards on the night. Zach Terrell, you pretty much couldn't stop him tonight. He had 4 touchdown passes. One right here to Jake Weber, a 36-yard score. He would also run into, he finishes with 6 total touchdowns for the game as Homestead pitches the shutout. 49-zip the final.
My linemen did a great job always. Wide receivers making me look better than I really am, and running backs making me look better than I really am. So, I give all the credit to them and God. They did a great job today.
Well, this is kind of what we wanted. Defense playing well, and those were the things we were looking for, and they did. And just felt like they improved throughout the year and found some pieces of the puzzle, and we're pleased with that.
All right, so Homestead gets their piece. Columbia City gets their piece. What about East Noble? Well, they had to beat Belmont to get their piece. A.J. Dove. And this kid has had a heck of a season. QB keeper, 13 yards, 7-zip. Belmont was trying to get pumped, but it's hard to get pumped when A.J. Dove goes top shelf to Jordan Gator for 78 yards. 5 receptions, 170 yards. Touchdown for Jordan Gator. I don't know. Jordan Miller had 3 TDs, too. East Noble, also a conference champ. 49-14 your final. Congrats to Coach Depew. All right, that wraps up the NHC title chase, but there's one more stop when it comes to that conference.
Yeah, we sent Rod Hissong to Dean Gorse Field, and he joins us with more.
Yeah, Carroll may not have been in the conference title chase, but the Chargers have made some strides. Coach Doug Dinan in his first year, the Chargers coming into the night with 3 wins, 1 more than they had all of last season. Chargers hoping to pad that total against winless DeKalb. Fired up for senior night, Carroll's Corey Nelson. he was a busy man. He gets the touchdown run here to the left. That makes it 7-0 Carroll early in the half. DeKalb's Carter Stafford going to pick up a Nelson fumble here in the back, and he's going to go a long way to the end zone. That'll make it 7-6. Now, Nelson fumbles, player would be down, but he would get some redemption. On his way to a 208-yard day. Bust through the gap, you get him in open space, you're not going to catch him. He capped his night, minus the fumble. 5 touchdowns. Carroll routs DeKalb 41-18. Carroll will play next at Northrop. DeKalb will travel to Columbia City. Carroll again wins 41-18. Glenn and Ross, back over to you.
All right, thank you, Rod. Coming up, Leo clinched a conference title last week. We'll see how the Lions tuned up before the playoffs.
And Angol and Cherubusco, they came into the night tied atop the NECC. Would we have one conference champ, or would they end up sharing the crown? Answer coming up next in the Zone.
We're the SAC champs, and you watching the Highlight Zone. Let's go.